coming up, we are talking all about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, one of my favorite offerings at Walt Disney World every single year. These special things you can see or do, are they tricks or are they treats? What is good? What is bad? We're going to talk about it all. Stay tuned.
Like the Christmas, you go, oh, that's so cute. I want one of those. I'm gonna take a picture of it. All of this has a little bit of a ooh, like, are you brave enough to try that?
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. So excited today to be diving into holiday conversations with Karla and Stacy. What is up, girls?
Hey.
Good morning. I feel like it's been so long since I've been on.
Has it? I feel like I talk to you every single day, so I lose track. It is the springtime right now, which means that in terms of Disney, that is time to talk about one of my favorite times of year, which is Halloween. Do you guys, are you
It's
Halloween people?
time out. It's springtime there. It feels like summer in Florida.
Well, you all saw before I jumped on Zoom this morning how gorgeous it is at my house today. It's like a
Yes, I was
beautiful.
going to say you're lucky. You're lucky you get seasons. And more than spring or summer, it's May-sember.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we've talked about it and I am drowning. I'm so flippin' tired. And this is the funniest thing. And I am 99% sure I talked about this last year, and I'm 100% sure I'll be talking about it every year that we record in May till the end of time. If the end of the school year already wasn't hectic enough, right? We all have choir concerts and every single thing you can imagine, right? Then the paper comes home from school and it's like the last 3 weeks of school are all theme days. And I live for a theme. But when you add 3 children, that's like what, 27 themed outfits that I got to figure out now for the end of the school year on top of everything else.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not. At my daughter's school, so she's in middle school, she's in 7th grade, going into 8th grade next year. And her principal at her school decided that we're going to now enforce the uniform policy, which they always have a uniform, but now it's like really nailing down that girls can't wear leggings, that your shorts and skirts have to be to fingertips and all this stuff. And it's like we have 10 days left of school. And you want me to go out and try to buy uniforms that aren't leggings? And like, I don't know what to do.
Wait, you don't already own the things?
No, we do. But I mean, my daughter's been rocking leggings and a hoodie for all of school year.
We live in different worlds because my daughter walked out of the house today to go to school in a pair of shorts that she cut in her room this morning from a pair of pants that no longer fit her. So she took scissors to them to whatever length she
I
desired.
can appreciate that.
Came on downstairs. I was like, oh, did you get yourself a new pair of shorts? And there she went off to school. And I can promise you, her scissors do not cut to fingertip length.
I was going to say, I mean, as long as her booty cheeks aren't hanging out, I feel like you're winning.
Yeah, well, I won't see her throughout the entire day, but we're going to just cross our fingers and hope here on that one. But yeah, you know what the first theme day is though? Because we have, all these things. And as much as I complain about it because I'm exhausted, we're going to go all in because Magic Kingdom Mom over here. Guess what the first themed day is for my kids?
I'm just glad that you've now accepted that you're a Magic Kingdom mom.
I was more mocking you all for calling me that, but it's fine. What do you think the first themed day is?
I bet it's a Disney day.
It is a Disney day. And do you know what my wife said to me when I was reading her the days?
What?
Go through it and I'm like, oh, day one is Mickey and Minnie Day. And she looked at me seriously and said, do they have anything to wear for that?
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, knowing Zan, she wants to go shopping and buy a new outfit.
Yeah. She goes, I'll get him something. And I was like, are you insane? I have totes in the closet. We got Mickey and Minnie Day covered. It's so funny too, because we do go all out for our Disney outfits, right? I've talked about the different outfits my kids wear. We've used some of those then as Halloween costumes. When our kids were really little, and even actually last year, what's the craziest thing your kids have ever been for Halloween?
Oh gosh. Oh, I know. One year, and this was when my kids were super young. Let me think about this. My husband it was at a time when the like exterminator shows were like really big. I forgot what his name was, but my husband had like a mullet and Liam was a mouse in a mouse trap.
Oh, that's cute. That's
And we
funny.
made our wagon into like this big mouse trap and then put a hole in it. And then Liam was the mouse sticking out. It was hilarious.
Stacy, did you have any epic costumes for your kids?
Yeah, we did some fun ones. I think probably the craziest one that I giggled the most at was Jack was Nacho Libre, which was really fun with his little,
Can you do that again?
oh my gosh.
He might go viral.
Yeah. We like to make our costumes, obviously, when we can. So this is what made me think of this conversation. Last year, my twins, my little girl twin, she was a table, like legit a table, and it was hysterical. It was so cute. And I think like if you're trying to envision what I mean by that, like I literally mean she was a table. It was so funny and she loved it. And my son was Easy Mac, Kraft mac and cheese.
Nice.
And when my oldest was little, we made her a vending machine, and you could actually get candy out of her and put candy in her. And adorable, you know,
I
so
love
cute.
it when they're young and you can like basically make them whatever you want them to be. Liam's first Halloween. So Liam was only like 6 months old, and my mom worked months to make this like super cute owl costume. And this is when I lived in Colorado. He was absolutely adorable. And all we were doing was going to a friend's house to go trick or treating in our neighborhood. And between our house and their house, which was like 15 minutes away, he had this giant blowout. And by the time we got there, like it was ruined.
Oh no.
Poop up the back. Like it was a disaster.
I think one of our strongest years ever, we did all three of our kids were lamps. And my son was a lava lamp. My youngest daughter was the Pixar lamp, and she had a Pixar ball trick or treat bag. And then my oldest was the leg lamp from
Oh, that's good.
Christmas Story, and she legit wore like a fringy lampshade on her head, and then a full fishnet bodysuit. It was hilarious. We definitely it was our strongest year
That
for
is so
sure.
funny.
Hilarious.
When I only had 3 children, we did 3 blind mice, and that was really cute with their little Band-Aids on their bottom where their tails had been cut off, because the tails got chopped off with a carving knife.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, dark, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised though that you went all out.
And then we did back when the Ann Getty's coffee table books were really popular. Do y'all remember those, or are y'all too young?
Like vaguely.
No.
She would dress up babies. I mean, it's very popular now,
Yeah.
actually. But
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
lady
yeah.
that
I
was
know
a
what you're talking
photographer,
about.
she did the babies like in flower pots and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I dressed up my 3 kids as that one time. We had little hats on that were just covered in flowers and had a little strip of green floral going down the front like a little stem, and it was adorable. That one was really cute too.
I think you were ahead of your time
Oh,
with the creativity and stuff.
it was fun.
Back then, I mean, I don't think people were like now Halloween can be really all out,
Well,
but I
yeah,
don't
it was
know, back when
definitely
your kids were
pre-Pinterest
little.
days. Yeah, it was.
That's what I'm saying.
I was
Like,
gonna say Pinterest. I got through all
mhm,
my young child years with Pinterest. Not my
definitely.
child years, but my kids' child. Like nothing I did was original.
Oh gosh, when we talk about my childhood, man, those were some scary outfits those days. Every year was like what version of a clown or or a witch. I mean, it was like rotate with just
Yeah.
whatever you have at home and mom's old makeup and just make something happen. It was bad.
Figuring out what to be for Halloween was so hard. It was a real point of stress for me. I mean, I would cry for weeks leading up to Halloween, not knowing what I wanted to be. It was a lot for me. I don't cry about it anymore. It's fun now. And as my oldest is getting older, she doesn't necessarily want to be a vending machine anymore. So we've repurposed some of our Disney costumes like into Halloween costumes. So all of this fun Halloween talk on the edge of summer because as we record this, actually, literally today, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tickets are on sale for Disney World, which is so exciting because the party is starting in August this year. It starts in August every year, but we never know for sure until we know. And it's going to run from mid-August all the way through Halloween. I'm so glad once again this year we are ending on Halloween. A couple of years ago, they bled into November. Thought that was strange.
So weird.
Did not like that at all. So last day, of course, going to be on Halloween. And are y'all going this year? Did you get your tickets this morning?
I haven't decided yet. Stacy always goes. She always has some elaborate
Oh, I'm
costume.
definitely going. It is super
What's
fun.
been your favorite one? Your favorite, Stacy?
And
Because you've had some good ones.
oh goodness. And I'll talk about this in the episode today, but I would probably say that I enjoyed last year's when my husband and I dressed up as Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. I feel like it was the first year that I was comfortable in the weather, in the temperatures. I have had a couple of years in the past where just some accessories made me entirely too hot. And last year, I feel like I finally was figuring out what I needed to do to make the look happen, but still keep the temperature in mind. So that was good. But I've had fun. It's kind of ruined me to where and now in May, I'm really stressing about a Halloween costume. And then by the time Halloween gets here, I'm like, oh, it's just now Halloween.
Right.
I start so early that by the time October 31st is here, I'm like, why are y'all dressing up? Halloween was so long ago.
Totally. And I think well, we're gonna get into costumes for sure in a little bit, but the best time I ever went was with a group of almost 30 people, and costuming for 30 was so much fun. Is this your favorite party? We've talked about this before, but I mean, Disney has Jollywood Nights, Very Merry Christmas Party, and Not So Scary at Disney World in Florida. Obviously, we're highlighting Halloween today. This is probably my favorite. I mean,
I think it's my favorite because it starts the holiday season, and it's like life just in general gets super fun once fall rolls around, because then it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving,
mhm.
Christmas. It's like it's just the start, and that's what excites me about it.
I just love everything. We're going to talk about all of the different elements of why I think it makes it so special, but we're going to do it in a really fun way today. We're going to be talking about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, but in a make it or break it rating and system that we're going to be calling Trick or Treat. Obviously, very fitting for this party. We're going to look at 7 different topics when you're considering whether or not Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is for you. Here's my spoiler alert. It is. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is literally for everyone. But here, obviously, on the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast, we like to break things down from every angle because we know that there are stressful factors that you consider. And so we want to give you the pros and cons, the tricks or the treats to every single one of these factors so you can really make an educated decision. But again, this party is amazing and it is for everyone. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are breaking this down trick or treat style for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. This episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast is brought to you by BabyQuip, the #1 baby gear rental service across the US, Canada, and beyond. There is nothing more difficult for my family with 3 young kiddos than when we are traveling. We're just out of rhythm without our things. We just feel out of step and our kids feel off. It can make our vacation feel so much more stressful than it needs to. With a wide range of baby and toddler equipment available, including cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, and more, BabyQuip helps give us some of that normalcy that our kids crave and we need as parents when we are away from home. When they're happy, we're happy. And by using local quality providers that are often moms, dads, and grandparents just like us and you smarties that are listening today, BabyQuip makes sure that you are working with somebody who understands the needs of your family firsthand. If you need it, they have it. All products follow strict cleanliness and safety protocols and are also insured to give you that extra peace of mind that you need to really enjoy your vacation. With convenient delivery to your location, whether it's a home, a hotel, a vacation rental, wherever you're calling, home away from home, they've got you covered. BabyQuip is available in over 1,500 cities, making it accessible. So whether you're heading to Disney World, Disneyland, or another travel destination, BabyQuip will be there for you. With their easy-to-use online platform, you don't have to stress about getting your products. Head to babyquip.com. Use code SMPOD, that's SMPOD, to get $30 off of any order of $150 or more. That's babyquip.com. Pack light, travel happy. Okay, I think there are some areas when deciding if a party is the right choice for your family and your vacation that there are some different areas that can cause a lot of stress when you're making your considerations. I never want people to feel stressed out when they're trying to decide if they want to do a party like this. I mean, you all agree, right? It can be, we're going to break it down deep, but it can be black or white. Like, this is fun, this is great, and everything else will kind of fall in line, don't you think?
Yeah, I think this is one of those questions where if this is the time of year you're traveling, you just have to include it. I can understand if the scheduling doesn't work out for you to go, but honestly, if you're talking from August, we've already talked about how August can be a really great time to go for a lot of reasons. So I think that it's worth the effort to make this trip. And like I said, if you are going during this time, you're gonna have major FOMO if you don't go. You're gonna get there, and we're gonna talk about this that it's one of the really tricky things in this trick or treat series that we're doing here. There is nothing sadder than it wanting to go and hoping you can go and then walking up to buy a ticket on the day of and they say, "We're so sorry. there are no more tickets available for today. So, I know when you're there, if you do not have a ticket, and I know this because I have had clients there without a ticket, and they get there and they see all the excitement and they see all the theming and everybody's excited and talking about it and ready to go, and then they can't get in.
Exactly.
You're so right, Stacy, that FOMO. It's like I've been in the park on a Halloween day at Magic Kingdom and 4 o'clock rolls around and the people with the costumes, because I that's when you can start going in.
Yeah.
So you can go in before the party at 4 and people start coming in their costumes and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, like number one, if you don't know that there's a party that night, that stinks." Okay. So, but
Mm-hmm.
then you see all these people coming in, you're like, "Oh my gosh, my park day has to end in 2 hours."
Yeah.
But all these people are getting ready to have the time of their life and they look so awesome and everybody's just so hyped about their night, and then you're like, and I have to leave and they're going to literally going to kick me out pretty much or walk me out. It stinks.
Yep.
Yeah, I've also been there without a ticket because I just wasn't feeling it that year. I don't know what was wrong with me. And I had so much FOMO. It's crazy. It's so true. I don't think you're going to want to be there and not be able to get in. And Karla, to your point, you said if you're there and you didn't realize it was a Halloween night, that stinks because, in case any Smarties listening don't know, the park closes if you don't have a ticket to the party at night. So you're not going to have regularly scheduled happily ever after fireworks or evening hours in the park at all. You're going to be asked to leave and made to leave. Yes, they'll be able to track you down if you don't have a ticket when the party time starts. So there's like a 2 to 3 hour overlap window where party guests and non-party guests are in the park at the same time. Then at the end of that, when party starts, everybody else is getting ushered out. And these parties do sell out. Most of them sell out closer to the date, but some of the more popular days will sell out earlier. So it's smart to plan ahead. One of the biggest draws and best parts, because you can ride attractions all day long, right? And attractions are open, and we're going to talk about some special things with attractions later in the episode. But the first thing I want to do here is talk about the characters. Character interactions at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party are my favorite part, maybe, because across the parks and across Disney in general, you typically see that same lineup of princesses and Fab Five and other movie characters that you know and love. But who you don't see all the time are the special characters you get to meet at the party. Most specifically, Jack, Skellington, and Sally. Jack and Sally, they have quite a line. What's the longest you all have waited for Jack and Sally?
I have checked it and it has always been too long for me, honestly. I have never met them. It is a crazy long line. It is a crazy long line. And I'd got to do it sometime. I really do. We've got to figure out the trick for it for who I'm with and whether or not it's worth the time. But they are super popular and it's because they are super cool. They look amazing. If you have any cat type of fandom whatsoever, your minds are going to be blown.
And so I was just reading that they're in the town square theater. So right when you walk in the park, along with Mickey and Minnie, which are together for the first time. Like you can get your picture with them together.
Yeah, and these things are always changing every year, right? Like they always drop new surprises on us, or they'll say, this year, this is happening. And it's always, I mean, typically, I don't think I can think of an instance where an announcement like that ever made me feel like, oh, they took that away. You know, it's always enhancing and making it better. Jack Skellington has a new costume this year. He looks incredible. Have you guys seen
Yeah, he
the
does
Yes,
look
change?
he
better.
looks much better. He got a little glow up.
He looks amazing. I don't know why this took so long, but he looks so good. And Sally, I just love. So that is the only place you can meet them ever, and that's why obviously the line gets so long and it has such a cult following. I love that movie.
Well, now you
And
say it's the only time you can meet them ever. They're available at the Christmas party as well, which is
sorry, I guess I should have said just at a party.
yes,
At a
at a
party is
party.
when you can meet them.
Correct.
At a
Yes.
party, yeah. Fair enough. No, no, no. Good point. I'm glad you said that. At a party, you know, in a setting like this is where you meet them. They're not typically people that you see in the parks on a regular day. Villains, obviously, we're getting a villains area in Magic Kingdom, you know, in 100 years from now. And everybody's very excited about it because people love villains. Right now, we don't have that, except this is their time to shine. Obviously, this is their night. This is when they come out of the woodwork and they're walking around and they're interacting, and it is Sign me up for that all day long.
Yeah, it's a very cool time. It has such a different vibe throughout the entire park. Even if you're at one of those first August parties where you might think this is way too early for Halloween, you do not feel that when you walk in. As soon as you walk in, you're like, "Oh yeah." So when you walk in with these characters and how the mood is set immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's great about it too is like you mentioned, Allie, the characters, some characters are walking around and it's like different part of the parks. You're gonna see characters like along the Frontierland walkway. How many times have we seen the country bears?
Hmm.
Do you remember that, Stacy, being back
Yeah.
there? And
Oh
then if
yeah.
you're over in Tomorrowland, you have the whole dance party with characters over there. You have the characters that are like the big characters like Jack and Sally, but then you have these characters, they just appear. It's almost like Disneyland where they're just walking out and about that you don't get to see
Yeah.
often at Disney World that they do at this party.
It's interactive. And I'll tell you the other thing. We're going to talk about attractions, I said, but for me, I don't prioritize things I can do. If I'm paying for a Halloween ticket, I try to prioritize things that are specific to the party, and characters are where it's at for me. So we're going to give this on a scale of trick or treat. This is obviously a treat.
For sure.
Right. The character interactions are an immersive and special and absolutely a treat. Which is going to lead us into our next category here. Another thing you can expect and enjoy at the Halloween party is going to be actual trick or treating. Now, we already talked a lot about costumes and trick or treat at your house, but this is where those costumes and Stacey, I think you've shared your story before, but you can bring her up again. Costumes for this party are the best part of this party. It's probably why, I mean, as soon as I buy my Halloween party tickets, I'm like, what are we dressing up as? Are you all individual or are you full theme with who you people you're going with?
I've done both. I've done a costume where I'm part of a group of people, and then I've done, actually it's always been a group of people, but sometimes it's been more like actual costumes, and then sometimes it's just like matching shirts, just depending on the weather and how hot it's going to be.
And I'm glad you said that because if dressing up isn't your jam, you can wear a Halloween Mickey shirt, and you'll fit in. It's not like if you're not fully in a costume, you're not going to fit in or you're going to feel uncomfortable because people do a whole wide range.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been with you all and we didn't plan a group costume, right? We just all kind of did our own individual things. But if I'm with my family, we have absolutely planned ahead and we're all coordinating and in the same theme. So it's fun to do either way. I enjoy looking at other guests and having other guests interact with costuming. The costuming it brings up conversation with everyone. It just makes the atmosphere feel really festive. And so to me, it's real important to have a costume and I know this is just me being like, pay attention to me. I need attention.
No.
I like getting I mean, it's really important to me to have a fun costume that people acknowledge, that's fun to me. If I went into a party and nobody said, "Oh, great costume," I would be really sad.
I feel that though. I feel that in my core. People get so creative just with the characters that they incorporate, or my costume is a ride, things like that. We went last year with a group of 30 people, and it was very important to me that we have a theme for the 30 of us. I was like, we have to come up with something that all 30 of us can be. And I never want to do anything obvious. Unfortunately, for 30 people, I couldn't come up with anything that wasn't obvious. Do you all know what we did?
Toy Story, right? Toy Story?
It's very cute.
Yeah, we did Toy Story. And I
Mhm.
was kind of like, oh, everybody does Toy Story. And I really was hoping to come up with something better. But it was more important to me to all of us be coordinated than have something that was more unique. And so we all had a spreadsheet and everybody was signing up on the spreadsheet. And to get to 30 characters, we had to get pretty clever.
Just because of the sheer number,
Mhm.
that was going to be
Yeah.
unique because you were absolutely hitting on some characters that nobody has ever done before when you get to 30.
Yeah, I mean, we had a Dolly Dolly and a ventriloquist, and we had Xandra was my sheep. I was Bo, and she was a sheep. Or she was the lamp. And so we did it though, and it was amazing. But to me, the trick or treating, which is actually the part we're talking about, is so much more fun when you're dressed up in these costumes, and it just makes the whole thing feel like more of a community party, right?
We can overlap from the last category of characters into this because I like to make sure that I'm getting the most bang for my buck, the most time handled. And there are a couple of places where you go through the trick or treat line and there are also actually character interactions as well. when you go through Princess Hall, that's where you can see like the Evil Queen and Maleficent. And then you at the end of the line when you've gone through and had some interaction with them, not like photos one on one, but they're in there interacting and talking to you and you get cool pictures. But then the candy is at the end of the line. Then there are other spots. If you go through Monsters Inc., that's a quick walk through the theater. You do not stop and sit and watch a show, so it's not quite the same. But they have live improv going on the screens. It's the monsters commenting and on people who are walking through. So that's a really fun thing too. And then at the end of that line, you get candy. I pick those places that have something fun involved with them rather than just a line that goes through with candy. So just know that that's an option. So I like to do trick or treating, but I do not want to spend a lot of time trick or treating. I want to have a little bit of time doing that because it is fun, but I try to do two things in one.
A hot tip is bring your own bags. You do get a bag when you enter the party, but it's I feel like either I've gotten bigger, which is possible, or the bags have just gotten increasingly smaller. But this is good candy. This isn't crappy candy, right? And the bags they give you are like smaller than a shoebox now. I mean, they're pretty tiny. So if trick or treating is going to be one of your priorities, definitely plan ahead, bring bags. I've even seen people bring empty backpacks and then dump all the candy and then just keep going back for more, that type of thing, but be smart about it if it's important to you.
Yeah, you get more candy trick-or-treating at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party probably than you do in your neighborhood. I mean, I've seen pictures of kids that
Handfuls.
just
Oh,
have
yeah.
mounds. You're not going attraction to attraction, like door to door and getting a piece of candy. Like you're getting scoops of candy at every stop. Yeah. And they're
Yep.
easy to find locations. They have them really, really well marked with like light up things that are out there, and you have a map. I mean, it's not going to be hard to find these places.
You know what else is really cool, which I think Becki would appreciate me saying, is that they have allergy friendly candy.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Mhm.
very easy to locate and it's very trustworthy. I'd imagine I feel very lucky that my kids don't have allergies to food or candy, but I'd imagine that it has to be one of the more stressful things that a parent can deal with and just making sure that it's safe for their kids. But, Disney does it right. Like they do everything right, honestly. And that's a great point. I'm glad you said that. And toward the end of the
I
night,
just love that they even thought of that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like the teal
Yeah.
pumpkin thing, like when you're trick-or-treating in your neighborhood. Have you all seen that? Where it's like if you put out a teal pumpkin, it means you have friendly,
that's why
like
I have
candy
to go
that's
to
safe for
Disney because
everybody.
my neighborhood doesn't think of those types of things. I've never heard of that. No, but I mean, I can appreciate it.
You guys don't have teal pumpkin?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, if
No.
you put a
That's
teal
cool
pumpkin
though.
out, it means that you have allergy-friendly candy. Come to this house. Anyway, at night, at the end of the night, towards the end of the party, if you head to the trick-or-treat places, those scoops of candy get bigger, just FYI. They don't need to be
Yeah.
so
Skimpy.
skimpy with the candy. Yeah, they're like, here, we got to get rid of this batch for tonight. So they're giving it out big time. So much fun. Yeah, big walkthroughs. Absolutely, you should be prioritizing trick or treating. This is a treat on our scale of trick or
Yeah,
treat,
for
right?
sure. It's a
For
trick and a
sure.
treat, but tricks are good in this case.
Yeah. All right. One of the most concerning planning factors for any vacation, not just a party, but we're going to talk about it for the party, is weather. As I said, the party happens mid-August to the end of October. This year it's August 15th through October 31st. So we are spanning really 3 months of different type of weather. And as a Florida local, Karla, you just mentioned you don't really have seasons, but you do have higher highs and lower dips, right? And August is among the higher of highs.
Yeah, August and even September, honestly. The part about the weather is, yeah, we don't get seasons. Occasionally in October, you'll get a cool night, which is really nice. But this is the height of hurricane season. And that's just being totally real with you guys. But don't let it stress you out because Disney always handles it wonderfully. If they have to cancel a party, they're going to make the best of it. They're going to do whatever they can. It's one of those things that, like, in your mind, you can very easily stress out about it, but don't. Know that it's probably going to be hot, right?
Yeah, you can't control the weather, but you can control how you react to the weather. I would say and correct me if I'm wrong, I would say it's like almost 99.9% sure that a party will get canceled because of weather. It doesn't that happen every year? At least one party gets canceled,
I feel
right?
like
Like,
I feel like they have hurricane days just like schools do down here. Like we have
yeah.
hurricane days and, Disney's Not So Scary Party has a hurricane day
Yeah.
every
I
now
just
and then,
think,
but
it's going to happen. Should that deter you from buying a ticket? Absolutely not, because like you said, Disney's going to handle it. It's always a possibility, but you're already traveling to Disney at that time. If you have a ticket to Mickey's Not So Scary for any of these dates during this time, you're already choosing to go when it might be blazing hot in August, or you're already choosing to go when it might be the height of hurricane season. So you have to kind of acknowledge that those are the choices that have already been made and that could impact the party. Obviously, costuming is going to be different if you go in August versus October. I think you're going to want to really be mindful of layers and weight of your costume in August. You know, maybe your workout Barbie, so you're just in that
You're
that
a
blue
workout
onesie.
Barbie.
I'm just trying to think of things that aren't going to be like really hot for August. And then obviously,
I don't know. That
yeah,
lycra, that little lycra outfit
it was the
doesn't
best
sound
thing I could
super
think of
cool.
in the moment. Maybe like mermaid Ariel, I guess.
Yeah.
Moana's a good one, I
Poor
Moana.
Stacy. The first time I think I met you, Stacy, was at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and you were the grandma from the Carousel of Progress, which I know we've talked about. But you were like head to toe decked out. You even had gloves on.
It was so, so hot. I really thought, oh, I'm going to be in
I'm
a
gonna get all
dress.
the
It'll be fine. I'll have a
attention.
little
It's gonna be
air
great.
circulation going.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, it was a hot, hot costume. Even that that little collar I put on added heat, and then the rubber glove and the
It
goggles.
was
Oh my
great
gosh,
though.
it
It
was
was
so hot.
probably you were probably the best dressed there, and the cast members ate it up.
It's got to be one
That
of
was
the
so fun.
best done costumes like in history. I mean, I want Smarties to send
Oh,
us pictures of their costumes, but Stacey, like being a character out of the ride and just so iconically done and went viral on TikTok. It was so fun. It was fun to watch.
And the
it
fact
was
that
really
we
fun.
really barely knew each other at this point, and knowing Katie and her love for Carousel of Progress
Yeah,
now, right? But you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like the
it's true.
OG that actually made the effort to dress up. I mean, it's
pretty
like,
cool.
That is funny.
So
yeah,
I wouldn't have worn that costume in mid-August by choice. Although that weekend that you all did that was I remember it was the first weekend of September. So you were probably pretty hot, Stace.
I was hot. I was
yeah,
blazing hot, and it rained. Do y'all remember? I was stressing out. That was your opportunity to
yeah, I
see
do
me stress
remember.
out. And I was like, "Y'all, it's raining. We have to go. Come on, hurry. We gotta go. We gotta go." And I was talking about go from like the resort to the party, and I was like, "Come on, we gotta go because if not, it's gonna be raining, and we're gonna, I just remember
Yeah,
there was a
you all
lot of
were
rain that
visiting me
time.
at the Polynesian because Zan and I were staying there. I didn't go to the party. I'm gonna call weather a trick because it's not a
Yes,
deterrent. Like I said, you're already at Disney this time of year, but you got to remember that you're going to be dealing with a wide range of heat index, right? It's going to be real hot sometimes, it's going to be humid other times, it could get canceled for rain. So, weather is a bit of a shifty thing. Obviously, not a deterrent, but definitely a shifty little consideration.
Little trickster.
Little trickster. I know I said characters are what I'm all about, but I actually think I lied. I think actually the thing I like the most is the shows. Give me a special show all day long. And at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, not only do you get the characters, not only do you get the trick or treat trail, but you also get these shows that you only ever can see if you have a ticket to this event. They include the Mickey's Boo to You parade, the Hocus Pocus Villains Spectacular, Disney's Not So Spooky Fireworks, a legit fireworks show with projections that are just for this party. Give me a custom fireworks show. Yes, please. And new things every year. Things that we don't expect, things go away and come back. There's a zombies inspired dance party for the new Zombies 4 movie. My kids went through a huge zombies phase. They're kind of out of it now, but I'm sure they would love that. And of course, the parade with the two iconic moments. Well, there's a lot of iconic moments in the parade, but if I say two, do you all know which two I'm talking about? What
Yes.
do you think
Yep,
yes,
what
I
do you
do.
think they are?
Headless Horseman.
Absolutely.
yep,
And I don't know what they're called, but the guys with the
The Grave
shovels.
Diggers.
The
yes. The
grave
grave
diggers,
Oh
diggers.
my
yes.
Yep.
God.
And you guys know how I feel about characters. Like I like my characters afar, and these parades, these are my jam because the characters that come out and that appear at these parades, in addition to the headless horseman and the grave diggers, I mean, they're amazing.
When the
Yeah.
lights go off in the park and everything goes silent and all you hear is the clip clop of the headless horseman's horse just so eerily going down Main Street and there he is holding his head. Chills thinking about it now.
I literally just had
I do
chills
It
too.
too.
is
It's
so
amazing.
like worth the price of the ticket, right? Like it is so eerie because it's dark and everybody is silent and you're just lining the streets and clip,
Yes.
clap, clip, like, oh, and then it, Help me remember. It's the
Yes.
beginning of the parade, right? He rides before
Yeah,
the parade.
it's before it's
And then the
mhm.
parade is just so
Mhm.
epic. Obviously, we mentioned the grave diggers, and there's choreography with the shovels, and they're sparking it against Main Street. I mean, just like legit sparks. The dancers, the ghost dancers. What a masterpiece that parade is.
It is
My
beautiful.
favorite
It's
part, for
awesome.
sure.
Not to go off track a little bit, but do you guys remember the viralness of Tally last year at the Very Merry Christmas party? Do you guys remember Tally the elf?
Oh,
I know you
yes.
do,
Of
I thought you were
Stacy.
talking
course.
about, I thought you
Yes,
were
of
talking about
course.
Katie's daughter.
No.
I was like, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just wondering, like, is Tally gonna appear in
Oh my
some other
gosh.
like epic, crazy way for the
Oh, now
Halloween
that
party?
would be
No
something.
way. No way.
Uh,
Tally is an elf.
I know, but what else can Tally be?
No. Tally is building toys.
yeah, he's not. I would
True.
be shocked if he
He's
was
in the
there.
workshop.
But
Shout out to
it's so
Tally the elf
fun.
if you're listening.
Yes, we do love you. We love you. Everything about this parade, honestly, for me, this is the party. It is the longest parade. It is such a nice long parade where you just get a show marching past you for, I don't know how long the parade is, but it feels very long and it feels really in a good way long.
Feels
It's
worth
just so
it.
wonderful. It is so
Yep.
worth it. And I mean, I don't want to give away all of the things, but like there is a pirate section that I love it so much. Like I said, the grave diggers and all of that that's right there around the party scene. It's actually like they bring the party scene from Haunted Mansion to life out there with the ballroom ghosts. Oh, it is
Yep.
so, so good. And then lots of fun characters where it really says it's not so scary. There are really cute things as well. Like lots of cute, the Candy Crush, not Candy Crush. What's the
Vanellope,
Vanellope and
yeah.
the
Wreck-It Ralph.
uh eh, Wreck-It Ralph, all of that little area, so you've got your really cute child-friendly type things in there. If you're worried about your children being scared, it's not a fear that you really should have. I'm sure there are some things that they might want to kind of stand behind your skirt, a little bit when they're coming down. There might be a couple of things, but I used to do that with just Captain Hook, during a regular parade. So it's definitely child-friendly and really fun. And then the fireworks, we talked about that too. I feel like that show is probably not quite as long as Happily Ever After, but it is so eerily cool and amazing. I don't know how they make the firework show feel so big. It feels like it is as far left and as far right as you can possibly see from Main Street. It is gigantic and it is so well done. Of course, the music and how all that synchronized fireworks and all that kind of stuff. And it is a spooky feel that is amazing and fun where your jaw is on the floor watching it.
Yeah,
It
and then
is
of course
really great.
Hocus Pocus. Who doesn't love those three witches, right? If you get a chance to see them on stage, it's so much fun. So honestly, if you just go to the party and fill your time with shows and parades, characters and trick or treat, boom, it's worth your ticket, and we're not even done with everything you can do there. So obviously the shows are a
Absolutely.
treat. They truly are a treat. They are absolutely amazing. The food. Everybody wants to talk about the food. People love every time we do a food episode here on the podcast, people go nuts. They love to talk about the food. At the special parties, there are specialty treats, very specific items. They're available at table service meals, quick service locations, and snack locations. So you don't have to hunt hard to find them. You could especially find them on Main Street and at special kiosks and things throughout the park, well labeled. This year, is the Madame Leota seance candle new, or did I just miss that in the past?
I feel like it's
I think
new.
it might be
That's
new.
the only thing we've gotten a hint at.
Yeah, okay.
I think I would have remembered it if it
I
wasn't
don't,
new.
it doesn't look that appetizing to me. Maybe it's going to be great. I think it's a great idea. And I love Madame Leota. Yes, more Madame Leota and everything that Disney does surrounding Halloween. That sounds great. Candle doesn't look super appetizing, but I'd probably still try it if I was at the party.
I do think people go hard for these special treats at the party, right? So I do think you kind of have to divide and conquer a little bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe like one parent goes into character line and waits for Jack and Sally, and the other parent is grabbing a treat. So, like, kind of keep that in mind. Also, would like to say to keep in mind, I wouldn't go to this park hungry necessarily. Like, I would try to get a really good meal in. If you want to eat in the park, then eat it between that 4 and 7 time frame. While there are special offerings at the quick service locations, I would say don't waste your time. Like grab some of the treats at the kiosk, like Allie said, some of the special drinks and stuff. But to waste your time sitting down when you only have a certain amount of time and you have so much to do. That would be my hot take is don't go to the party on an empty stomach.
I agree. If you're eating, it should be something that you can only get at the party.
Yeah, and I would not call this necessarily a trick, but I would say it's maybe tricky. Because of the timing, we have tried to do that where let's eat ahead of time because we know that we don't want to really have a lot of time doing sit down meals. And then we end up hungry enough that we still want to go in. I will say we do Cosmic Rays a lot. They do have the little dance party going on in there that's fun, that feels very much in the mood. And they will have, like, last year I had, gosh, I could not remember the name of it. They always come up with some sort of
I had
little
like a
themed
crazy
name, but it
burger
was,
every year, right?
yeah, it was a funky little burger and had, a black bun. And so it's when you're talking about this Madame Leota candle snack, things don't always look necessarily like the Christmas you go, "Oh, that's so cute. I want one of those. I'm gonna take a picture of it." All of this has a little bit of a, ooh, like, are you
Yeah.
brave enough to try that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like this black bun or this, so it's fun in that way, but it's leaning into the spooky a little bit. But I will say there are a lot of sweets, lots
Yeah.
and lots and lots of sweets. If you have a sweet tooth, you're going to be happy with all of the offerings. If you need your proteins and you need some savory things, you do have to kind of scout them out because there's not a lot. It is easy to find sweets everywhere you go. All the little specialty items they're almost always going to be sweets. And when you're talking savory, your options are going to almost really just be Cosmic Rays and Casey's Corner. So that's really your two big places. A lot of the other places, they close down early. Those are going to be your first, like trick or treating,
I can't remember if they are or not.
I'm trying to think of Pecos Bills. It's tough. It can be a little tough when you're trying to
Yeah,
find a
I agree.
savory
And to
meal.
your point about like that black bun, just to call it back real fast, I said don't eat anything that's not special. I would consider that something that's special, right? I would go
Yeah,
for
for
that
sure.
and be happy. So obviously, eats and treats, you're getting really special themed things. That's all I really ask for. And that candle, as much as I'm not really sure if it's for me, it actually looks really cool. There's a lot of detail involved there with that little snacky. So I think this is a treat. It's gonna be hard to find reasons why this party at all would be a trick. We're gonna take another quick break. We're gonna hear from other Smart Moms travel agents in our Friend Like Me segment. Do not blow through this segment. Give a listen. It's short. And somebody here is going to be sharing information that you want to put in your social media feed. Smarties, go follow our friend Molly at Molly's Main Street Magic on Instagram. She is a former cast member who is always finding ways to keep the magic alive in her life. She calls herself an introvert unless she's talking Disney. Most of her trips are actually multi-generational, so she knows how to plan a vacation to make sure that every family member is having a magical experience. Are you a foodie with allergies? So is she, and she still knows how to truly indulge. Follow Molly on Instagram at Molly's Main Street Magic. Okay, friends, one of the best vacations I ever took was multi-generational. Join our friends Tanya and Brandy on Facebook at Planning Family Vacations with Grandparents. They specialize in those multi-generational trips, talking all ages and stages for the destinations that will make your memories magical. From solo trips to large groups, they book vacation homes, single family or multi-family resort packages, cruises, all-inclusives, anything you can imagine for your family and your family's family to all travel together. That's Planning Family Vacations with Grandparents on Facebook. All right, we are back. We are talking about the different factors that may be trick or treat when it comes to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So far, we've covered a lot of ground, things that people are excited about. Let's talk about the crowds, because I think this is a little bit, it kind of is going to go both ways, right? I think when you buy a party ticket, you automatically think you're going to be heading into an empty park. This is not the case. The park is not empty at all. There are still a lot of people there. They do limit the amount of people, right? It's not going to be as packed as a full park day, but there are still lines. And pretty much every night of the party will sell out. So I wouldn't anticipate that something like Tron, if it's open, I wouldn't anticipate that to have just a super short line because you're at a party. I would actually expect that something like that could take most of your party. You're not going to have no waits. You are going to have lower waits. Do you think that's a fair representation of how that will be?
Yeah, and I think starting at 4 o'clock, the crowds are still there. It feels a little overwhelming because you have all of your regular park people there and you have the party people. And when you're lining up for the party to get in, if you are entering at 4 o'clock with just a party ticket, that line is really long. And so it can feel a little scary. And when you go into the park, you've just got a lot of hustle and bustle, and it can feel a little overwhelming at first. However, the later you stay, it will thin out. If you stay all the way to midnight, that is when you're going to see the low crowds, the low numbers. They are really good. So the perseverance is worth it. There's a lot of people with their younger children there through at least the parade and the fireworks. And then the park stays open for a couple hours still after that. Hang around, and that's when you're going to see the low numbers and the low crowds.
That 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock hour is going to be a sweet spot because little kids are heading out for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
My kids fell asleep, and we were the family that was out when we had little ones because they fell asleep.
Yep.
That's what happens. The parade, it's important to know, usually has more than one showtime. A lot of the shows usually have more than one showtime, with the only exception maybe being the fireworks that I think plays once. You're going to have a brochure pamphlet that's going to tell you all of that. So you can strategize for the crowds, right? You can say a lot of people are going to be at the first parade at this time. So we're going to go do this at this time and we're going to go to the second parade, or the reverse of that. So you can use that to strategize the crowds. There's not lightning lane multipass during the party. That's a question we hear a lot. That's not a thing. So just be aware of that. And I wouldn't prioritize I don't prioritize things that have a line that are not party specific. Fair enough.
I was gonna say you're really gonna feel those crowds primarily at the character interactions, at the snack kiosks. It's gonna seem very crowded near the trick or treat spots, but those lines do move very fast. So don't be scared of those by any means. And of course, the crowds really bunch up in some of those smaller walkways, like down back there by Frontierland, just during the parade specifically.
Yeah, and I think we should call crowds a trick because I think it is a bit of a trick. I think a lot of people that buy tickets to the party think that it's going to be an empty park, and it's not. But again, just like when we talked about the weather being a bit of a trick, I don't want that to be a deterrent with the crowds, right? It's just a strategy. It's just an awareness and an understanding of how you need to prioritize things. If you're there thinking that the crowds are super low and you're going to ride a certain attraction that's open all day, every day, you're going to miss out on some party things and you're going to probably leave pretty upset. So it's just having a plan, knowing that it's not actually an empty park, just a lower capacity park, and planning for that. And I think it'll be fine. But just know that when you're there, it's probably sold out.
And a big decision you have to make if this is a rare family outing, as if this is a big family vacation where you don't know when you'll be getting back to Disney World, or maybe it's your first time to Disney World, I would not want for the party to be your only Magic Kingdom experience. You definitely need to schedule in a daytime experience, possibly even a whole other day. Just use a different day for your Magic Kingdom experience so that you can stay and see Happily Ever After, see the regular daytime parades, and you're not going to have time to ride everything during the party. So don't let the party be your only experience at Magic Kingdom unless you are an experienced Disney goer and are okay with missing things, because you will not get to do everything.
Fair point. I like that.
Point.
So yeah, we're gonna call crowds a bit of a trick, and that's gonna lead us here to our last thing to discuss with the party. This has me honestly so amped, you guys. Like, I want to go to the party. I want to dress up and I want my kids to trick or treat. Let's talk about the rides though, because I just spent a little bit of time saying don't ride things that are always open, but there are a few things that have a bit of a Halloween overlay. They do it better at Disneyland because Disneyland out in California gets that Haunted Mansion layover, which is Nightmare Before Christmas. I would just die to have that at Disney World. I wish this was the thing here, right? We do not, just to be clear, we do not have that. Disneyland does. The overlays we have are Space Mountain, which I've talked about before. My son, who is my thrill seeker, well, they all are, but he's my massive thrill seeker. He would just cry all the time because he wasn't tall enough for Space Mountain. And I told the story. Oh, no, you know what? That was my daughter, his twin sister. The first time she was ever tall enough was at that Halloween party.
Oh,
and
my
he was
goodness.
upset because he wasn't. I took her on and she was front row right in front of me. And they ride alone. And the Halloween overlay for Space Mountain, I mean, it's always dark, but at Halloween, it's pitch black.
It is unbelievably dark. It is so fun. It's shocking how dark it can be. Nothing.
She had to be 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my baby must have been 5 years old.
Like your hands on her shoulder, like trying to hold her down the whole time.
My mom, if I was sitting by my dad on a roller coaster, my mom was the one that would be like, Joel, make sure her belt is buckled. Like, make sure she's in. And that's freaking me. I'm like 6 years old and she's saying this. I'm like, am I going to fall out? She was always so nervous when we were riding. And I don't want to do that. And I was so freaked out because she was alone and in front of me and it was pitch black and I could not see her at all. But I was trying so hard just to be like, she's good, she's safe. So I just let her be. I let her ride and I'm pretty sure she went arms up.
Oh,
Yeah, she's crazy. And when we got off, she was like, I don't know how I feel. And she has since ridden it, so she was fine. But that all pitch black, dark Space Mountain, that was her at 5. She had to have been 5. Yeah,
that is
easily.
wild.
5 years old. Yeah. And then the laugh floor you already mentioned has a bit of an improv thing that's just really fun to see. The teacups, they have Halloween lighting and music going on. If you can bear the teacups, that might be fun to see. But that's really it, right?
Yeah, you did mention, Haunted Mansion not having the same overlay as Disneyland, but they do have some performers there, which makes it fun. And then if you've ever heard about Pirates of the Caribbean having live actors within the ride, that was a thing. It is no longer a thing.
Maybe they'll bring it back.
Yeah.
I would love that. The announcements are usually not removals and it's usually an upgrade. I thought about this. I was like, except for Pirates. That was a
Yeah, you're
removal.
right. And it should be said too that everything we're saying, we're talking specifically 2025 as
Yeah.
that's the one that's open. This is an ever evolving party. Things change and new things are added. And if they bring those pirates back, that would be great. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned those Haunted Mansion performers because there were some ghosts and ghouls from Haunted Mansion standing on like that bridge by the Rapunzel bathroom. You know what I'm talking about? As you
Hmm.
exit Fantasyland, there
Oh, I
were
haven't seen them. Yeah.
there were 3 up there. It was one of the
Oh,
coolest
that's cool.
parts. Really cool.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, they had somebody sitting in the graveyard interacting
Yeah.
in the line. That was really fun. She was funny.
Yeah, you'll find really just unique things that you didn't anticipate when you go to the party with the rides, in the queues, as just part of the attraction. So again, just like I said with the food, if you're going to be riding, try to make it matter for the party. And maybe if you're walking by Winnie the Pooh and it's like a 5-minute wait, sure. Run in there and ride it.
Still don't go on it.
Yeah.
Just because I want Becki to yell
I
at me.
know. Right, you will see some really short times. Some of the more popular things, as I mentioned, in crowds, will have long waits, but you'll see some really short lines. So if rides are a priority for you, you can still get away with some, but I would still try to prioritize the ones that have those Halloween overlays. Those are our categories, you guys. Character interactions, so unique, a total treat. Trick or treating, the whole park just has the best setting ever. It just feels like Halloween night in August, in September, in October, on Monday, on whatever day you're there. It feels like a Halloween setting. And for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the Hidden Mickey will be setting. They set the scene right to feel like Halloween night. That's a total treat. Weather, bit of a trick. Can be hot, can be rainy. Shows, total treat. Do not miss the parade. See it twice if you want. Headless Horseman will be the shining moment of your night. Don't miss the Hocus Pocus witches and the fireworks, of course. Eats and treats, total treat. Get some unique offerings that you can only get at the party. Crowds, a little bit of a trick. You're going to think that they're going to be lower than they actually may be. So you're still going to want to strategize and have your priorities in mind when you arrive. And the rides, total treat. Obviously, you get some overlays and then some interactions and special things in ride queues. Overall, such a core memory, special night. So much fun. Costumes are my favorite part. I keep saying it, but it's because I just want to drive that point home. I want to see costumes. I want people to be creative with costumes. I want people to make costumes, buy costumes, order whatever it is. Just do the costume. Don't be the person that just shows up in park attire. Do the costume. Y'all want to do a lightning lane?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, Karla, then Stacy. Let's see. What do you think is the best Halloween specific show in the park?
That's easy. It's the Mickey's Boo to You parade.
Absolutely agree. Ditto.
Parade, absolutely, I agree. Best group costume idea.
Gosh, I don't know. I really love them all. And I feel like, watching all the footage from people going during the seasons, I always just have one or two that stick out. One that I remember was a couple that did the electric night parade. Their whole costumes just lit up with lights, and it was
Wow.
just super cool.
Wow. We did a group costume with Monsters Inc. I was Roz. My husband was Randall. That was really fun. And then my daughter, son in law, and granddaughter were Mike, Sully, and Boo. So that was really cute.
Oh, those were cute. I love those pictures of you guys.
Yeah, we've done Monsters Inc. and my little monsters were so cute. I had Boo, Mike, and Sully. They were adorable. I think anything that's themed after a ride would be my pick. Or like you just said, the Spectrum Magic Parade. And if you get like, Stacy, if your whole group had been characters from inside Carousel of Progress, that wins for me every time. Or we're all a ride from Fantasyland and then see how everybody creatively comes up with that. Like, I think that
Yeah.
wins for me.
That is fun.
What were the moms last year that were like actual ride carts? What were they on? I forgot what they did. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, kind of. It's like a vague memory. Shout out to those moms. I don't
Yeah, you
know.
were
You were
great.
so great that we don't remember you.
Yeah, you were good. We can't remember, but we remember that it was good, whatever it was. But we remember you were good. We liked it. A ride that's worth riding at the Halloween party.
Space
Gosh,
Mountain.
I would probably say Space Mountain. Space Mountain in the dark, dark.
Yes.
Yeah, Space Mountain for me
I
as
got
well.
out of order. I was so excited about Space Mountain. Yes.
I wish they turn off the lights when you have to get out of the car. Because I just feel like that whole
Can you
situation
imagine?
is a
Yeah,
nightmare.
don't watch
Yeah.
me.
And just
Yeah.
like, I don't want anybody to see me. Same
Oh
with
man.
getting in,
No.
Yeah,
really.
that is a throwback. Yes, that we had that conversation many episodes ago, how it's not as tall as I am. I would say if you're even really almost probably like 5'8", 5'9" and above, which I'm 6'1", it is a real trick. There's your trick to get out of Space Mountain cars. Not easy.
And your treat is watching.
And the
Yeah.
treat is watching.
Getting to watch Stacy get out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a show.
Yeah, that's my favorite show at the Halloween party. What is the best character interaction at the Halloween
I
party?
mean, I think the easy answer is Jack and Sally, but I do think it's pretty cool that Mickey and Minnie are going to be together this year. But my favorite character interaction is from afar.
Yeah. I really do enjoy the villainous women in the Princess Hall, but super cute, worth the wait was Stitch dressed as Elvis. That was super
that was
cute.
cute.
Really happy that I got that picture.
Is he there every year?
I feel like he's been there the last 3 years. Yeah, I feel like I can say that.
That's a good one. I've kind of forgot about him.
Mhm.
Jack Skellington is my answer. I know it's cliche, but come on, so cool. Okay, last one. What ride do you wish had an overlay? Can't say Haunted Mansion because we already talked about it.
Probably Tiana's, which would be hard, but
Like a Shadow Man takeover overlay?
I don't know, but it's such a long ride and there'd be so many cool places to do it at. The only downfall,
Yeah.
that would be that you'd get wet, but I think it could be a really cool place.
Stace?
Maybe It's a Small World. They all turn into like little zombie children.
I did wonder about that, and I was trying to think, do I want to say that? But gosh, it really is tempting to just. Can you imagine if they put the real characters into Haunted Mansion, like what the idea was with Pirates? But if they had like make it a little spookier, where there was some more jump scares and things like that in Haunted Mansion, that would be really fun.
That would be cool. And then I'm going to stick to one that I have said forever, and it's not going to matter much because Tom Sawyer Island is going away. But if that counts as like an attraction in the park, it would be awesome if they just made that a Villain's Island during the party. Although I think it would be so hard to get onto it because I think everybody would want to go there. And even the boat ride over could be like scary and the villains could ride it with you. That would be amazing. Okay, now I want to go to the Halloween party. Sounds great. I think you smarties, if you're on the fence, you gotta go. Most people go every year. Most people that go to Disney a lot will choose to keep going back and back and back because it's that much fun. But you have to do it at least once if you haven't already. You're in for some real treats, not a whole lot of tricks because the whole thing is just a blast. Make some core memories with your family. If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend. Share it with a friend you want to take to the party. Share it with a friend who loves Halloween. If you enjoyed it, chances are they will love it too. You can like and subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It helps us so much. So we can keep putting out episodes every week for your enjoyment. So it helps us the most. That is going to do it for us on another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.